Sorry guys, the video cut off. Which I was saying last, this was the Robots of Death and the Talents of Wing Chang were her second and third episodes on Doctor Who. The first one was The Face of Evil, in which she thought he was evil. But what do I think of this figure? Very good. Kind of a nice thing to add to the box set and gives the box set a very unique thing. A very unique outlook, shall we say. Now, let's look at the mummy from the Pyramids of Mars. Once again, episode and character description in blue. This is an Osirian war mummy. An Osirian service robot wrapped up as a mummy. Now in this episode, they would go around killing people by either karate chopping them or squishing them in between two of them because they have a giant metal plate in here that would kind of squish them, okay. Now, everyone really likes the Pyramids of Mars, and I don't blame you. It's a good story, but it's not my favorite. As I said, it's the Robots of Death or the Talents of Wing Chang. But I don't plan on getting the sets for Magnus Greel and Mr. Sin. Excuse me, I must burp for a second. I am really sorry about that. That's the third time I've burped while recording these. But to the figures, what do I think of the figure? It's kind of a little lackluster in color, but it's very good if you want to build a little army. But articulation is at the arm, can do a 360. At the elbow and at the wrist. Yeah, you saw the wrist. It can swivel at the waist. No head movement, unfortunately. It can do sort of the splits. It can kick out. It can bend at the knee, and it can actually swivel its legs. So generally, sorry, let me just set them up. Generally, for a very bulky figure, it's quite articulated, which is very good for these. What do I think? Once again, adds uniqueness to the set. Although, it's kind of a bit lackluster in color. But, whatever. It's another cool monster to have. I don't have any action figures, by the way. This is my first batch. Now, on to the final of the monsters. And probably the most famous one. It is the Dalek. The Suicide Dalek, actually, from Destiny of the Daleks. Now, might I point something out? When opening your figure, be very careful. Because this Dalek is kind of an older one. Which means you can pop its eye stalk out. What you should really do is either super glue it in, which I don't feel like I'm going to do the commitment, which I probably will. I put some sticky tack in instead. Be very careful though, especially if you have kids and this is just flying all over the place, as the eye stalk will fall out. But back to the Daleks detail. It's very detailed. It's the lighter gray shade as they were in the episode. I did not notice. However, I will be getting another Dalek set quite soon, which gives me... It's the Resurrection of the Dalek set, which I'm excited about, because I love the 5th Doctor. Point to make later. So I'll do a little comparison of that later. However, here's all the detail, including its little bombs, which you can't see here, but this actually has chain. Oh, you kind of can. It has its little rings. It has its... black balls, which actually can make it implode if you watch the episode Dalek, which is really brilliant, as they kind of give it a little bit of purpose instead of just adding stuff on to make it look more sci-fi, like they did when they created the Daleks. Onto articulation, the eye stalk would usually move. Mine does not. Oh, I forgot to mention it has its little ears. The eye stalk would usually move. Mine will not anymore. It can do a full rotation there. You can actually, you can't see it, but you can actually spin it around a little bit, and gun up and down. You can, no, I'm not going to force it to spin. And it can even do a little, you can do the full 360, but I don't feel like putting it through the ringer today. What do I think? I love Daleks, and if you are getting this as your first set, like I did, really, it's a fun, great figure to have. Next one, and if I am suggesting getting anything else, I really do suggest getting an Marcus Scarman so you can have just a bunch of cool single figures. But yeah, the Dalek is a really good monster set. So what do I think of the monsters in this set? Very good. As your first set, if you watch classic Doctor Who, this is very good. If you only watch Tom Baker, come on. If you only watch New Doctor Who, then this will be a little bit lackluster because there are no Cybermen, no Cyber Leader, Tom, no Cyber Leaders or anything, but who really cares? Now on to the final figure of the set, and then we'll get to the accessories. Tom Baker. Tom Baker is the longest reigning Doctor, and the first episode of his I saw is The Ark in Space, which is currently on Netflix. The figure is really lovely. This is actually another head, which this is the one I prefer because it doesn't have the hat in me. Sorry, you see my forearm. This is the most terrifying Doctor Who head I've ever seen. No, if I put... This is the one that this comes on. You really have to take this off. For me, this... No, the solemn face really works for Tom, because if you watch some seasons and episodes, he's a bit less happy. Mostly because, fun fact, I've heard that during Tom Baker's end bit of Doctor Who, he was a hard alcoholic. That's funny to me. But, onto the figure. It's very good representation. I actually think... Tom... I think the figure's costume is actually from Pyramids of Mars, ironic, or Terror of the Zygons, or even Robot, which were early episodes of his. It actually comes with the... So, let's look at the detail. Scarf is perfect. You get to actually see the detail on the coat on the inside. You get a aquamarine scarf. Once again, sorry, I got a burp. Ooh, sorry, that was gross. You have the curly hair, his head. Mine can't move. Mine, I think his head's a bit stiff. So, it can't move, but I've heard it can do 360s, but it's very hindered by the scarf. Shoulder length, shoulder movement, elbow movement at the bicep. Elbow movement, movement at the wrist. Can do the splits, kick out. That's a wrestling thing. You can actually... Alright, you can bend his knee. I believe you can actually... Sorry, let's twist his leg for a second. See, you can do that. You can twist his leg. And no foot movement. Oh well, Tom Baker always had long pants anyway. But this figure is actually a very good depiction of Tom Baker, and it's actually quite a good... This set generally is very good to start off with. Despite my Dalek eye stock problem... Generally nothing really bad to say. The figures in it, to some people, are a bit meh, but to me it's very good. Especially if you don't own the Vok or the Mummy. This is kind of a good starting point for this. And you get Tom Baker with it. And I actually really like this costume. Now on to the accessories that this set includes. For the Mummy, you get a canoptic jar with Sutekh head that you can actually pop open and store all your jelly babies in. Would you like a jelly baby? Tell me if that was a good Tom Baker impression or not. Tom Baker's terrifying face. Yes, that head is terrifying to me. Stand up. Okay. The thing, I have no idea what this is. It's what was inside this in the episode that Tom Baker took out to disarm a force field around the little area. Sorry, I'm just... Would you like a jelly baby? No thank you, Tom. Alright. The corpse marker hand for the Vok, which you can actually switch. I've tried. I haven't been able to get any success. And a microscopic classic song screwdriver, of which I actually have a full-size version of it. Up in the house. What do I think of the set? And it really gives you a lot to do. So basically, it's a good starting point for Doctor Who figure collectors. Where is everything? It's a very good starting point for anyone. However, if you do want to add a Tom Baker companion, let's just get Louise Jameson's Leela. Leela is probably my favorite Fourth Doctor companion and one of the best. Okay, so we passed 10-minute mark on the video. I thought I was going to cut off. A likeness is very good. On the camera, she looks really tan. She doesn't look that way in person. Basically, it's Leela in her most famous costume. I actually thought about getting the one with the Sontaran store, which that's going to be probably one of the next sets I buy, because I love the Sontarans, favorite race of Doctor Who villains. But another problem with this figure is Leela's legs decide to pop off if you play with her. That sounds bad. Don't take it that way. If you're, shall we say, if you're having Doctor Who shall we say, Leela's running around and you're having her karate chop Vox in the head, her legs had to fall off. But onto the figure, she has movement at the bicep. Don't take that motion very dirty. At the elbow, at the wrist, you can see the wrist. Head, I can't move it at all. At the waist, you can get some movement. Legs, you can kind of do a bad donkey kick. And I can't move the legs. So, I'm going to tell you the truth about this Leela figure. It is beautifully detailed, and I actually really like it. However, being a critic here, which I'm going to do for purposes, the legs, I would suggest that they would have moved a little bit better. And I will be picking up the store set eventually, the Invasion of Time set eventually, so I can compare. However, this Leela figure's not bad, especially if you're just displaying her. But me, Tom Baker, and her, they're just kind of my only action figure companion duo at the moment. Although I have got another one coming on the way. Leela's accessories, and then I'll cut this video off, is a crossbow, which I think mine might actually be a bit bent and droopy. Once again, context. The gun, as it appeared in the beginning of Robots of Death, I think it might have made an appearance in Talons of Wing Chang, and she shot people with it in the face of evil. Leela, stay up. Leela. And I'm actually going to buy the King of Sontar audio drama, in which these two are acting in. Sonic screwdriver. 1 second. She has really little accessories. Let's go. She comes with a little club, so you can go and just knock people out. I'll put that in there in my little containment unit. And her knife, which actually she can store in her little. Let me just use this as my little pointer for a second. In her little pouch there. So generally, what do I think of the Doctor Who action figures that I own thus far? They are great kind of toys. I do like them. If you can pick up the 4th Doctor Adventure set, get it. If you want a monster with Leela, I really do suggest either getting. If you want her in her famous costume, get this one. However, if you just really want her with her knife, which is kind of what I was expecting, and I was nervous that I wouldn't get the knife if I got the Sontaran set, get the Sontaran set. But generally, the figures are very good, and I'm quite content with them. So, until next time, and my next action figure review, and my next model review, which I'll be changing the format of, maybe any other videos in between. Thank you guys, and goodbye from Mr. HBK 305 Juan.